3, 2, 1, go.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of our Sunday Q&A. Thank you so much for all your comments last week. There were so many comments congratulating us for our 15,000 subscriber
Very exciting
milestone. Thank you guys for that. Let's get right into the questions here, the comments. And the first one.
Make them good ones because everybody's more alert. They've had an extra hour's sleep this week.
Yeah, that's right. So, okay, the first one I think personally offended me, and I think you'll feel the same.
It offended you?
So Nicole James Burgraff, sorry if I mispronounced that, but Nicole James Burgraff says, Leafs fan? Unsubscribe. Go Sens go. Great channel. Keep up the awesome content.
Nicole, where do you live?
Yeah.
Where do you
live? If you guys don't know, me and my dad are very, very, very big Leaf fans. And so we don't, I appreciate that that you enjoy our content, but we don't appreciate your comment. Although we do have a little soft spot for the Sens. I will say.
The very first game I ever took.
Yeah, that was, yeah. So there's a little soft spot for the Sens, but in this context, no. Go Leafs, go always. No Sens. So next comment here comes from Santo 77.
Almost sounds like my name.
I know, close. And Santo says, Santo, I'm seeing a theme here. Your job is not to tell a seller that their price is wrong. Your job is to do your best to achieve their wishes. Just because a better home than mine sells for the same or less than mine doesn't mean I can't or shouldn't sell my home for my price. Just like how someone buys a patio set for $3.99 on sale last month doesn't mean that I can buy at that price. I may have to buy at $4.50. What I want for my house is what I want, period. Don't give a beep about any stats or anything like that.
What's his name again?
Santo.
Santo, you're right about the patio set. Could be on sale this week and not the next week, and you're going to pay whatever it is if you want that patio set. I'll repeat that. If you want the patio set, you're going to pay it. But you're totally wrong on the house. If you want to sell, there's a difference between listing and selling. If you want to list and enjoy people coming into your home and get all excited about photographers coming by and staging, and if that turns your crank and that's what all you want to do, you could do it anytime. But if your goal is to actually sell, the biggest opportunity to sell is being realistic with the price. And if you're not, you don't have to give a bleep about anybody else's price. You could be $2, $3, $4, $1 million higher than everybody else. But that's somebody who really doesn't want to sell and loves meeting people when they come over for showings. But if you actually want to sell, you need to be realistic in your price. And a smart realtor will let you know that. A good realtor will say your price doesn't make sense. Now, I'm not talking about trying for a little bit, pushing for a little bit more. But if you're way off the mark in price, there's no obligation for the realtor to actually take on that listing for fun. If somebody asks me, Santo, I'm thinking of selling, what does that look like? I'm going to give them, as a consultant, my professional opinion. And if they say, hey, great, I understand, but I want to sell it at, $100,000, $200,000 more, I'm going to hire you. I'm going to go, whoa. I don't think I can hit your goals. I'm not the guy. But when you're ready and serious and you actually want to sell, and I'm not talking about giving the home away, but, at that moment, what's a fair market price, then that seller's got to be realistic for it to actually happen.
So next comment here comes from Zahir5776. And Zahir says, what will be 2.5% prime rate market will be in the summer? There will be no effect or price will decrease as per Santos? ? I have been hearing for a long time from realtors, buy, sell now. They always say buy, sell now. Obviously, it's their bread and butter. It seems to me common sense to buy and sell in a low rate environment.
Common sense would be to sell when prices are high and to buy when prices are low. You can't always achieve that. We never really know exactly when those times are until they've already happened. We might think we're at the low season now, but they could go lower. We may think prices are high now, let me sell, and then you sell and they go up even more a few months later. Like, until it's happened, we don't know. We just can't predict the future. But, you know, people are going to do their best. And getting back to the first part of your comment about agents are always telling you to sell now, buy now. Yeah, a lot of them will, unfortunately, and it may not be the best move for you. So it's a matter of understanding and consulting on your unique set of circumstances, your own personal situation. If it makes sense to sell sell now, buy now. Generally speaking, though, if you're selling and buying in the same market, it's kind of a wash sometimes. However, if the market is going down or the market is going up, some markets are more favorable to somebody moving up in home, and some markets are more favorable to somebody downsizing if you're selling and buying in the same market.
Yes. Okay, so next comment here comes from Miss Glynn. And Miss Glynn says, should we avoid older condos, like 40 years plus old ones?
I'm not, why would, just because they're old, you'd want to avoid them?
Well,
I wouldn't avoid them. Some of them have been renovated really, really nice. You'll find in many of the older ones, great value. They might not be as modern, but you usually, for the same price, have a lot more square footage. It all depends. I mean, I would have a look at it, but people do have preferences, old versus new. And I'm saying that because some people specifically seek out the older condos because of the space and because of how they're built. And other people want something more brand new. So it's personal choice. I wouldn't avoid them. I'd have a look and see, what you're more attracted to and what makes more sense.
And I think on top of that, the important thing would be to, if you are looking at those older condos, the financial health of that building, the condo corp, is going to be really important for those, right?
Yeah, and it goes both ways. Like some of these older ones have, a lot of repairs and so forth that need to be done. But when you review the status certificate and all the supporting documents, or your lawyer reviews it on your behalf, you can see where they're at. And some of them have been managed perfectly, excellent, They're in great standing, and there's no reason to be afraid of them.
Yeah. Okay, so next comment here comes from Stephen Firmoil. And Stephen says, you got the t-shirt. Hey folks, genius, bravo.
Does this one have it on the back?
I think it does, actually.
Can I turn around there?
Yeah, so
hey folks.
We put it on a t-shirt for him. We put it on a sweater for him. It's it's official. We should start selling some merch. People would
imagine that.
Yeah,
we sell merchandise.
That would be interesting, yeah. I don't know who's going to want to walk.
Forget about selling houses. We're selling t-shirts now.
We're selling t-shirts now. That's it. Okay, so next comment here comes from Mad Positive Outdoors. And Mad Positive Outdoors says, really enjoy you two and of course your interaction. I live on Vancouver Island and would never consider moving to the GTA area. It would actually be my worst nightmare. However, I do really enjoy your real estate insight and knowledge. I have my home and my cottage. However, I'm considering a property as an investment. What and where does a person start? Or should I just stick with stocks? Funny how some people are comfortable in real estate and others in the stock market. Cheers to you both.
Wow. First of all, he lives in one of the most beautiful parts of Canada. And as far as should you continue to invest in stocks, buy real estate, and he said that people are more comfortable in one versus the other. That's my opinion. I'm not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice, but do whatever you're comfortable with. Do whatever's been working, what makes sense. If it's not anymore, the beautiful things is you could pivot and do something else later. maybe you're getting advice from somebody. Use the right people to help you and advise you and guide you as to what makes sense for your investment. But do whatever you're comfortable with. And go Leafs, go.
Yeah. Okay, so next comment here comes from CTHYMNN. And they say, since bungalows are seeming impossible, what do you think of borrowing against your secure line of credit to add on with first floor bedroom and bathroom? What would the monthly payments be?
So basically, instead of buying a bungalow, they're talking about expanding their house, adding either some major renovation or expanding their house,
or just modifying their
their home. Well, I'd look at the budget and see what you want to do. Now, if you're thinking of adding an extension, make sure it's allowed. Make sure you could do that in your neighborhood, and you deal with all the setbacks if it's actually allowed. If it's just major renovation inside, get a few quotes, find out what it's going to cost, and you decide. If you use a line of credit to do that, you figure out what the monthly payments. All this can be done without any surprises later. Although, when it comes to rentals, there will be some surprises along the way. So make sure you budget more. I don't know what the magic number is. Maybe 10% more of what it's actually going to cost, 10 or 15% more. And if it doesn't increase by that, hey, bonus, good for you. But be prepared that it'll probably be more than what you're actually thinking you're going to spend. And look at the numbers. And if it's something you can afford and makes sense, good for you. It'll increase the value of your home. It may not dollar for dollar immediately increase the value of your home, but at least you'll get that enjoyment over time. And it is way cheaper than selling and trying to buy that bungalow that, may or may not be there.
I was going to say, we've seen that a few times where people have added, let's say on the powder room on the first floor, they've managed to put in like a bathtub, right? And then they've put, let's say, a living room as a bedroom. They've reconfigured their first floors to make it like a
main floor master,
like a main floor master,
principal room. We can't say master.
Yeah, that's right.
Can't say
principal.
master. The rules have changed.
But
primary bedroom, main floor master. Oh, I said it again. It's just a habit.
And so, but we've seen those, and when it comes time to sell, it's really hit or miss for the buyers, right? Because a lot of people think that, we put this money in to convert it and it's very functional for us, but a lot of times we're also seeing buyers that are thinking, oh, I kind of want to bring this back to how it was because we're okay with the stairs, right?
If it depends on how it's done. So if you're, say, if you're losing the family room and making it a bedroom, and the powder room is now slightly larger where you've gone into maybe the laundry room or the mudroom, or I've seen people, the powder room expands into where the main closet was, and that's where they kind of put the shower. You're losing something to gain something else, and the new buyer may not want that, they might have preferred what you originally had. So it's a hit and miss. If it's done properly, though, and there's space to do it, then it's a win. In many cases.
Okay. And what would monthly payments be? No idea. No idea. Okay, so
your financial credit, the rate you borrow at, all these things make a difference.
So next comment here comes from Jessica Zhang, and Jessica says, "The numbers show that renting is more worth it than buying. Then what is the point of buying then? Are there still any logical justifications to buy?"
Of course there is, but it boils down to personal preference. When she said that renting makes more sense, maybe it does in whatever your unique set of circumstances are in your situation. Although many people have similar situations, their plans and long-term goals and just how they feel about renting versus buying can make a difference. It's not always financial. Sometimes it's security. If you're renting, there could be issues with the landlord, wanting to move in, wanting to sell. And even if you don't have to move if the home gets put up for sale, but you got to allow people in to see. It can get complicated if you're renting, or it may not. but you're not there forever.
Yeah.
Right? And owning, yeah, may cost more, but there's also down the road, I know you don't see it now in this market, but down the road, there is an equity factor that applies to the whole equation.
Even if it's your own mortgage is being paid down, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, but yeah, I think when we look at kind of our client base, and maybe let's say it's the clients just from this year, a lot of them have been, if they were in, let's say, the first-time buyer category, it's mainly been because, you know, they either just started a family or wanted to start a family, and that's why they were looking into buying, to have something more stable, because they've been renting and they've been moving from place to place.
Yeah.
And now it's like, okay, you know what, we want to settle down, we want to have our own space. And so that's a justification we're seeing a lot these days.
Yeah,
right?
It's your place. You're in charge. You make the rules. You decide what goes on and what doesn't.
Yeah. Okay, so next comment here comes from Debtflex, and they say, "Hi, love the channel. Question. We own a second property bought in 2019, and due to parents' health, they no longer were able to move in when possession was taken in 2023 of September 2023. After paying HELOC fees and interest of $1,900 per month, would it be best to keep renting it at low rate to pay that mortgage, or should we sell it or hold it? The condo is located near Cineplex in Etobicoke. Thanks."
It's difficult to answer that. Like, I mean, I really want to answer and just tell you this is exactly what you should do, and you say, oh, great, wonderful. It's really difficult without understanding more. For example, are you cash flow negative or cash flow positive now? And if you are cash flow negative, can you afford it? And what's the value of it now? If you were to sell, it sounds like if you purchase in 2019 and if you sell now, I would guess you're making a profit. If you bought in 2019, that was before everything. We had the 21, 22 when prices went nuts. So there's a good chance you're going to make a profit. And if you did sell, what would you do with that money? Anyways, is it better off staying where it is, or are you better off putting it somewhere else? All these things formulate the questions that you basically need to answer for yourself to decide, should I keep it? Should I not?
Yeah. Okay, and last comment for today comes from Siddiq Z, I think. Siddiq Z. Sorry if I mispronounced that, but they say, "Great job, guys. I love your show and watch Santos' videos every day, and I only watch the first 7 to 8 minutes when you tell the story. Market update is not I am interested in, as you mostly speak about Toronto, and I'm on the West End like Milton, Oakville, etc. Yes, I like the idea of live videos, but I won't ask you guys I won't ask for it, as you guys do these videos and it takes time and lots of work for what you bring to us. Keep up the great work. You should have an option to tip on your videos."
A tip? Oh. We'll do like they do in the restaurants now. We're going to start off at 18%, then go to 25%, 30% if you really love us.
Tippy culture has been in the spotlight recently because of how crazy it's been getting. But yeah, no, we don't need a tip. We appreciate it though. The live videos. So that's something that we're going to do, right?
We're going to do a live video where we're going to have us, most likely. We'll have Anthony, the mortgage broker, on there. And we will take your comments live. You could ask anything, and we will answer them live. They won't be hand-picked questions like you go through now, and you read certain comments that you want us to talk about here. It'll be live. We'll figure that out.
So that's all. That would also be on the Sunday, but we have to figure out what time works best for you. So if anyone has any suggestions for timing, I think probably Sunday morning. We release these videos at like 9:30 a.m. So probably around then. Maybe.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense.
Join us.
Thank you for your comment, Siddiq. We really appreciate you. Thank you very much. And on that note, are we done here, buddy?
Yes, we are done.
Have an awesome weekend, everybody. Thank you.
Keep leaving your comments because they make these videos happen. They make these videos possible. And we'll see you guys next week.
And if we come up with, hey, folks, merchandise, let us know how much you'd pay for some of this stuff. Maybe it's something we'll do.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Have a great weekend, everybody.